Welcome to Mental Fitness, the Gateway to Success podcast, providing business owners, leaders, and entrepreneurs with the 3 INs: insights, inspirations, and intentional actions. Delivered through monologues and dialogues, we address topics like leadership, productivity, time management, work-life balance, and challenges like stress, conflict, mental health, and much more. Please do not hold back from suggesting specific topics and guests you would like on this podcast. Greetings, and thank you for tuning into this episode. This is kind of a spontaneous one, and not really planned, but I thought there was an opportunity here to share with you an actual example from my life at this very moment about mental fitness. So at one level, I want to apologize for showing up here unclean in a way, unshaven definitely. But it's just too painful for me to shave at the moment. And at another level, there's no need to apologize because it is an opportunity to share with you how I have been using mental fitness for myself over the last week and a bit, given this situation. So, as you can see, if you're actually watching this, not just listening, is that there's some swelling here and there's quite a bit of pain there. And I'm not the prettiest face in town at the moment, not that I ever were, but definitely not at the moment. So I want to give you just a super quick background to what has been going on, excuse me, for the last week and a bit. So I was at the dentist about 9-10 days ago, and there is I don't know what we're going to call it, like a dormant infection in a tooth down here, and that is booked in to be looked after and fixed up. And then the next day I wake up in the morning, on Saturday morning, and there's some red spot and it's quite sore. So I'm going, well, no, it could be anything, nothing to worry about. Then the next day, there's like 4 or 5 spots, and the first one is starting to grow, and it's getting more painful, along with pain around this area. So logically, I go, well, something of that infection in that tooth might have been stirred up, and it is now spreading. That made logical sense, at least at the time. Then Monday morning, it is just, my face is like blowing up in these boils, and it's painful. I'm on painkillers to get through. Call a dentist and say, this is what is happening. And what they do is sending me some antibiotics to slow that infection down. Now I go, well, okay, that makes sense. So I do that. I spent 3 days on that. So by that time, it should have started to change, but it didn't. It just kept getting worse and kept getting more painful. So by the Thursday, I call again and say, this ain't working. They get me in there, and the dentist has one look at me for 30 seconds and say, this is not a tooth infection. Lie me down, do test, checking out, say, no, this is not a tooth infection. I don't know what it is, but it's something you definitely need to get looked at. Go to the doctor urgently. So I'm rushing back to the doctor and managed to get to see a nurse, and she's not sure what it is. A doctor comes in and says, oh, we're not really sure what that is. But the antibiotics that you're on is not going to fix that. We need to get you on some different ones. So I get put on different ones, and now I start the second lot of antibiotics. And within 24 hours, the swelling starts to go down. So it's like, okay, so we're on to something here. I've now been on that for about 3 or 4 days, 3 days. This might be my 4th day, and the swelling has gone down. So right now, again, if you're looking, it's quite flat. It's still inflamed. It is still painful. But definitely we're getting rid of at least the infection part of it. So that's a story at the moment. I'm down to having not taken any painkillers today for the first day in this whole journey. It's still painful. So there's definitely something going on there still. So there's 2 levels here that I want to bring into this sharing today and around mental fitness. And that is the level of the physical and the physical pain and how I dealt with that. And hopefully that might give you some ideas and something that you can take away from this and use for yourself. Then at the other level was also the psychological pain or the mental pain, or emotional pain. And essentially that was around uncertainty. So initially that pain wasn't there. I was absolutely certain that this had to do with the tooth. So it's like, we know what the source is, we're just going to get this fixed and just put up with the pain the best way I possibly can. Then as the journey unfolded, then a new mental uncertainty came into it. And it's like, what the hell is this? Like, if this is not the tooth, what is it? What is this causing it? The doctor couldn't tell me and couldn't tell me exactly what it was. So now there was the opportunity for my mind to go crazy and go into all kinds of conspiracy theories, into all kinds of stories, and into all kinds of worrying and anxiety about what is this and what is that. So I want to share a bit about that as well in this recording today, and where the mental fitness fits into that. What allowed me to get through this in a way that I wouldn't have been able to years ago without having the mental fitness I have today. It has allowed me to get through this week and a half or so in a more calm way, in a mentally more calm way, and in a way that supports my body in doing what it can naturally to deal with what it is that is going on. And then at the same time, for my mind not to go crazy, which it very, very easily could have done and would have way back in the past when I didn't have the mental fitness I have today. So when I entered into like this whole period of pain, and even though I've been taking painkillers, I take as little as possible. So there has been pain all the way along. To be able to get some good sleep, I've been taking painkillers to get some sleep, but I haven't taken heavy duty ones because I don't mind feeling that tension and that pain that is there. It is a part of me allowing myself to be in touch with what is going on in my body, while at the same time being able to actually function and support my body in healing itself. And to be able to do that requires a certain level of mental fitness, to be able to control our minds, in this case, control my mind, to handle and being in that state of discomfort at a physical level, and allowing that pain to be there. And I will share with you the technique that I use that you can use yourself in many different situations, but definitely when there is specifically like a physical discomfort. So what I do with the pain when it's there and it feels dominant and it's like, oh, I'm in this, I don't like this, I don't like this is not a good feeling. Yeah. Instead of running away from it and taking more painkillers or trying to escape into something else that's more enjoyable, what I do is I sit back or lie back and whenever it's possible, close my eyes, and then I go inside the pain. So I use my mental ability, my mental strength to focus my mind on the pain, which for most people, what do you want to do that for? I want to escape the pain. I don't want to go into the pain. But here's a kicker. When you do that, and you can do it completely and fully, which again comes down to your mental fitness muscles, how strong they are. When I dive into that pain completely, a really, really interesting thing happens. And this is going to sound weird, and it kind of is, but the pain disappears as pain. And all that is left is a physical sensation that I am experiencing. And in that state, there is a tremendous amount of peace, internal peace and ease. And in that, my body can completely relax into what it is experiencing. So in that moment, on those moments, there is no energy wasted in trying to avoid the pain or run away from the pain. And in that, there's more energy left for the body to do what it needs to do, as my mental state is not interfering with this process of healing, including allowing the medications to do what they need to do. The added bonus in that is also in that state, there is suddenly space for my awareness to pay attention to the more subtle things that are going on in my being, in my body, which are things like, what does the body actually need? Does it just need to lie down and sleep and rest? Do I need to eat some food? Do I need to drink more water? And in that, I can listen and ask my body, what is it that you need right now? And then if it's available in the fridge in the kitchen, I can then go and get that, or get down to the store and get what I need. So there are a number of benefits of being able to go into that. So this is my invitation for you at this level of the physical, and using and practicing mental fitness. And I will get a little bit more details on that before at the very end of this session, so that my invitation for you is right fresh there, and then you can go and practice that for yourself, regardless of where your mental fitness level is at, because it's never black and white. It's always a matter of where is it in this very moment of practice, just like physical fitness. It's not black and white. Some days you feel more physically fit, other days less physical fit. But overall, you will either be reasonably good physically fit or reasonably not good, or whatever, wherever you are sitting in that. So it's the same with mental fitness. There's kind of a baseline that we can maintain and grow, but there are also days where it's better than it is on other days. So some of these days when the pain has been really intense, it's been a bit more difficult for me to do this practice, and other days it's been a little bit easier. But I have been doing this practice every single day, several times a day, because it feels good and it works. So that's on the physical level. Like on the mental level, the technique is kind of similar. But the difference here is that at the mental level, the tension, the mental tension that I started to create halfway through this, when the uncertainty came in, and it was like, I don't know if this is ever going to end, this pain, or I don't even know why this pain is here. What is causing this? What is the problem here? And right now, I still don't know. Hopefully this week, clarity will come on that one way or the other. And I will eventually be back at a dentist, and we will deal with what is there at that level. So maybe there will be some certainty, maybe there won't. Maybe it's just one of those things that I just blow up and then I land it back. The thing with the mental pain that we create, or in this case that I created around the uncertainty, the technique I use to deal with that from a mental fitness point of view is the same or similar to the physical pain. So what that means is when I notice that my mind starts up the worrying, because it's not me deciding, okay, now I'm going to worry about this. Let me see, how could I worry about? No, it doesn't work that way. When we start worrying, we just start worrying because of circumstances. So there was this concern, this uncertainty, this level of worry that started up because of the uncertainty. And then as soon as I become aware of that, which again is pretty quick because I'm used to this, I'll be practicing this for decades. So you may find that you end up in a worrying kind of loop, and it takes several hours before you realize that you're worrying, which is fine. Then, whenever we catch it, whenever I caught initially this worry, I will then immediately do my mental fitness practice, which again is to bring an awareness into the mental pain, the emotional pain that my mind is creating. Um, so it's similar to the one with the physical one, but here is the difference. With the physical one, when we focus on the pain, then discomfort in the body, rarely will the actual physical discomfort disappear. Like if you got a headache or sore knee, or in this case, a sore face, just focusing on doesn't make the pain in and of itself go away. It's just that your focus shifts and the pain becomes more acceptable in a way. But the physical tension is still there. Whereas when it comes to the mental pain, the kicker here is that when we focus in on that and we pay 100% attention to it, it actually disappears. And the reason it disappears is because it lives only in one place, and that is inside our mind. Whereas our pain actually physically exists inside our physical body. So the magic of using mental fitness practices on the mental pain, for me in this case, or the uncertainty, is that the uncertainty then disappears. The worry, the anxiety is gone in that moment of focus and presentness. And then again, the benefit is the same, is that now when the energy is, when I'm not consuming energy in that mental state, that energy can now be used for my being and my body to do the healing that it needs to do for whatever else is going on in the body at this moment in time. So the benefits are the same. And then, of course, being the mental part, an hour later, 5 minutes later, whatever time later, it's going to kick back in again. Because a part of our minds want to worry or be stressed or be anxious or whatever our thing is, or get angry or get frustrated. So in this case, my mind comes back in again and goes, hey, we need to worry about this because this could be something serious or blah, blah, blah. And it goes into this story, try to justify why it should be worrying about that. And then as soon as I catch that, there is that moment of a breath and a sigh, and then just be completely present with that moment and that anxiety, and then it just dissipates. It just simply goes away because it cannot survive in the light of consciousness. And because I practice this a lot means my mental fitness is reasonably good. It allows me to be able to catch it really, really quick. And it has come up many times every day for several days. And for the last day or so, it hasn't really come up because right now there's nothing I'm going to do about it. So I can just let that sit there, and then we will see as the next week starts how this journey unfolds. So thank you for listening into this episode, and thank you. I hope that this has given you some ideas or some inspiration to how you can deal with any tension, physical or mental, that is going on in your being at this moment in time. So back to my invitation for you and to this specific exercise that you can do, that you can go do right now as soon as you get off this podcast. If you're not out driving or being active in some ways, my invitation for you is to just sit down, lie down, and if you can, close your eyes and just pause for a moment. Take a nice deep breath or a few deep breaths in, and then focus in on your body physically and find any tension. Like there's always something. It might be a slight tight neck or shoulders, or there might be a little bit of a nickel in your left knee, or there's always something. It doesn't have to be anything big, or there might be something big. Either way, just find something in your body right at this moment if you can. While you're listening, you can do it with me. Just find something and just pay 100% attention to that nickel, that discomfort, that pain, and see if you can be so acutely present with that in this moment, and notice for yourself what happens in those moments when you are absolutely 100% present within that discomfort. If you can do that, something shifts. I really wish for you to experience that. And if you can experience that with things that are not too intense, then you can practice with that. Practice on a regular basis. And then you get better and better at it. You are building your mental fitness muscles so that when it gets more intense, you will be able to deal with those more intense moments quicker and easier as well. Just like I have been able to this week in quite severe pain. So I hope this was useful for you, and please feel free to share any of your observations or experiences with this in the comments. That would be fantastic to hear your stories as well, including sharing with other people that are watching and listening into these episodes. Thank you for tuning in to this episode of Mental Fitness, the Gateway to Success. If you have stories of how mental fitness has benefited you that you are happy to share, go to my website, mikael.nz, click on podcast and fill in the guest application form. If you want direct support from me utilizing my 40 years of mental fitness learning and practice, email me at coach@mikael.nz or message me on LinkedIn. Any feedback, review, share, follow, like, or any other good stuff is of course appreciated. Thank you for listening to Mental Fitness, the Gateway to Success podcast. I'm your host, Mikael Nielsen.